Welcome back, coin collectors and enthusiasts. Today, we're diving into a fascinating journey through the world of the United Kingdom's one-penny coins. Whether you're a beginner or a seasoned collector, this video will highlight the top 5 most valuable one-penny coins, including variations in condition, mint marks, and production years. Make sure you stay until the end because some of these coins can fetch thousands of dollars in auctions. Let's get started. First up, old British coin, the United Kingdom one penny from 1918. Even in dirty or heavily worn condition, this coin holds a special place in the world of numismatics. Whether you found one in a coin box, inherited it, or are simply curious about old British pennies, today we'll explore everything you need to know, from its background to its collector demand and its auction value in dollars. The 1918 one penny comes from the era of King George V, a period marked by World War I, economic strain, and major shifts in coin production. During 1918, millions of pennies were minted in Britain, but what many collectors don't realize is that this was also a year when the Royal Mint outsourced some of its production to private mints abroad due to wartime pressure. These included the Heaton Mint marked with H and the King's Norton Metal Company, marked with KN. The coin itself was made of bronze, carrying the iconic portrait of King George V on the obverse and the famous seated Britannia on the reverse. Even though it was produced more than a century ago, it remains one of the most culturally important coins of the early 20th century. The 1918 penny has several features that make it interesting to collectors today. First is the classic design, a left-facing bust of King George V by Sir Bertram McKennell, which is known for its sharp facial detail and realistic drapery lines. On the reverse, Britannia sits with her shield and trident, a symbol of British imperial strength. Another unique feature is the presence or absence of mint marks. A regular 1918 penny has no mint mark, but the 1918H and 1918 knots variations can be much more desirable. Even in dirty or worn condition, these mint marks can make a major difference in rarity and market value. The old bronze material also develops natural patina over time, which many collectors actually find appealing if the details remain visible. While the 1918 penny is not extremely rare in general, its value heavily depends on condition and mint mark. In dirty, worn, or damaged condition, the coin is far more common, and the collector demand becomes modest. However, collectors still appreciate early 20th century George V pennies, especially if the date is clear and the coin is not severely corroded. Coins from the Heaton or King's Norton mints tend to attract more attention, even in poor condition, because far fewer of them exist compared to the regular Royal Mint issue. As a result, dirty examples that carry H or KN can still be sought after by budget collectors, beginners, and those completing Euromint mark sets. Now, let's talk about what most viewers are waiting for: the market value. A 1918 one penny in dirty, worn, or heavily circulated condition typically sells for $431,000 on average. If the coin is particularly corroded, discolored, or has surface damage, it may fall even closer to the lower end of that range. However, if your coin is a 1918H or 1918 knots variety, the price can rise slightly, even in poor condition, with typical listings ranging from $114,000 depending on how readable the details are. In rare cases, if the coin is worn but still visually appealing with a solid patina and visible features, it may sell for a bit more at online auctions. Higher values such as $20 or more only apply to coins in excellent or uncirculated condition, which is not the case for dirty or damaged pieces. If you own a 1918 penny in dirty condition, avoid aggressive cleaning because it can permanently damage the surface and reduce numismatic value. Instead, gently inspect the coin under good light to check for a mint mark. Spotting an H or KN can make it more desirable. Store the coin in a dry, cool place, preferably in a coin holder, to prevent further corrosion. For new collectors, dirty examples of the 1918 penny are affordable entry-level pieces, excellent for building a George V coin set without spending a lot of money. Many beginners start with circulated coins to learn grading and design before moving on to more expensive, higher-grade examples. Oh, there you have it. The United Kingdom one penny from 1918 remains a charming and historically important coin, even in dirty or worn condition. While it is not extremely rare, its value still lies in its age, its mint variations, and its connection to early 20th century British history. If you're building a penny collection or simply enjoy old world coins, this piece is an affordable and meaningful addition. Next up, the United Kingdom one penny from 1917, even when found in bad or heavily worn condition. Despite its age and the level of damage seen on many surviving examples, this coin still holds historical, collectible, and sometimes monetary value. In this video, we'll unpack its background, what makes it special, how rarity works in lower conditions, and its real-world auction value in today's market priced in US dollars. The 1917 British one penny comes from the era of King George V, whose reign spanned from 1910 to 1936. This period included World War I, a time of significant economic stress and rapidly increasing coin production. The penny was struck in bronze and was part of everyday commerce across the United Kingdom. Minting in 1917 was fairly high because the nation needed a strong supply of circulating currency during the war. Despite the large mint output, the penny remains historically important due to its association with a turbulent time in British history. Many of these coins were heavily used for years, meaning only a limited number survive in excellent condition today. Even in bad condition, the 1917 penny serves as a tangible link to the lives, struggles, and daily routines of people living through World War I. The 1917 one penny displays classic British design elements of the early 20th century. On the obverse, you'll find the portrait of King George V, styled with his distinctive moustache and regal side profile. The inscription surrounds the portrait, identifying the monarch and his royal titles. On the reverse, the well-known figure of Britannia sits facing right, holding a trident and shield, a symbol of Britain's strength and maritime power. The date 1917 sits below, and even in damaged condition, this design is usually still partly recognizable. Another detail worth noting is the bronze composition, which tends to darken with age. In harsh conditions, you'll often see corrosion, heavy scratching, rim dents, fading text, or nearly worn flat images. These flaws significantly affect grading but don't erase the coin's historical significance. While the 1917 penny is not rare in general, its rarity depends heavily on condition, demand, and market trends. In high grades, collectors actively pursue it because well-preserved World War I coins are increasingly harder to find. In bad condition, demand shifts. Most advanced collectors avoid heavily worn examples unless the coin is extremely scarce, which the 1917 penny is not. However, there is still moderate interest among beginners, history enthusiasts, and budget collectors who want a piece of British wartime history without spending much. Additionally, some damaged coins hold curiosity value. Coins with unique patina, unusual wear, or interesting corrosion patterns can still sell because they look characterful or display an unmistakable sense of age. The value of a 1917 one penny in bad condition varies depending on the level of damage, demand, and platform where it is sold. While pristine examples can reach much higher prices, coins in poor condition usually fall into an accessible range. Here is an approximate breakdown in US dollars: heavily worn, dirty, scratched, or corroded examples. Around the $322,000 extremely worn but still identifiable coins. Approximately $216,000 slightly better low-grade examples with readable details. May reach $114,000 on online marketplaces, such as eBay. Auction prices for low-condition 1917 pennies generally remain on the lower end, but rare bidding activity or sentimental interest can sometimes push a badly worn coin slightly higher than expected. Still, it is important to remember that in the marketplace, poor condition coins are valued mostly for their historical charm rather than rarity. If you're planning to buy, sell, or collect 1917 pennies in poor condition, here are some helpful pointers. Check authenticity. Even low-value coins can occasionally be reproduced, so always verify the coin's features. Avoid cleaning. Cleaning a coin, especially a bronze one, can drastically lower its value. Collectors prefer natural aging. Store properly used coin flips, holders, or protective sleeves to prevent further corrosion or scratches. Compare multiple listings. Look at ongoing online auctions to understand real selling prices, not just asking prices. Upgrade over time. Start with bad condition coins if you're new to collecting, and slowly work toward higher grade pieces as your budget grows. Study grading basics. Learning how to evaluate wear, patina, and damage levels will help you make smarter purchases. The United Kingdom one penny from 1917 may not be the rarest or most valuable coin on the market, especially in bad condition, but it remains an intriguing historic collectible. For many collectors, its charm comes not from pristine beauty but from its deep connection to the World War I era. Whether you buy it for historical appreciation, as a starter piece in your collection, or as a budget-friendly way to explore British numismatics, the 1917 penny offers a meaningful story at an affordable price. Next up, the United Kingdom one penny from 1930 in circulated fine condition. While it may appear to be just a small, copper coin at first glance, this penny carries a rich history and has captured the attention of collectors worldwide. In this video, we will explore its historical background, unique features, rarity in circulated condition, current market value in dollars, and offer essential tips for collectors looking to add this piece to their collection. The 1931 penny is part of the George V series, minted during a period when the United Kingdom was navigating post-World War I economic recovery and social change. George V, the reigning monarch from 1910 to 1936, presided over a period of significant transformation in British society and its empire. The penny coin itself, a staple of everyday commerce, was struck in bronze and featured the iconic designs of the era. The obverse side of the coin displays the left-facing portrait of King George V, designed by Bertram McKennell, an Australian sculptor renowned for his detailed and dignified representations of the monarchy. The reverse side showcases Britannia, the personification of Britain, seated with her trident and shield, a symbol of strength, maritime power, and national pride. This design, consistent with pennies minted from 1895 to 1936, captures the artistry and symbolism of early 20th century British coinage. Several unique characteristics make the 1931 penny stand out. First, the fine details of Britannia's flowing robes, the shield's heraldic designs, and the king's portrait, even in circulated coins, are notable for collectors who appreciate historical craftsmanship. The coin weighs approximately 9.4 grams and has a diameter of 30.8 millimeters, making it larger than modern pennies and instantly recognizable in a collection. Another key feature is the coin's minting history. The 1930 penny was produced during a period of lower economic stability, which resulted in relatively fewer coins being minted compared to some other years in the George V series. This lower mintage, combined with the coin's age, contributes to its appeal among collectors today. Even in circulated condition, the 1930 penny retains a story of nearly a century of British economic and social life, from everyday transactions to its place in numismatic history. While uncirculated or mint condition 1930 pennies are highly sought after, circulated fine condition examples are surprisingly collectible as well. Coins in circulated condition show signs of wear, such as smoother details on King George V's portrait or faint marks on Britannia's shield. Despite these imperfections, they remain historically significant and more accessible to collectors who may not want to invest in a higher grade example. Collectors often seek circulated pennies to complete their date sets or to preserve a tangible piece of early 20th century British history. Demand is especially strong among hobbyists who appreciate the balance between rarity and affordability. The 1930 penny in fine condition can be considered moderately rare because many coins from this period were lost, melted down, or heavily worn over the decades, making surviving examples increasingly valued as of today's auction market. A 1930 United Kingdom 1 penny in circulated fine condition typically ranges from $324,000, depending on the exact wear, patina, and overall eye appeal. Coins with slightly better preservation or clearer details on Britannia's trident and King George V's features can fetch higher prices, sometimes reaching $116,000. It's important to note that prices fluctuate based on collector demand, auction venue, and the coin's provenance. Online marketplaces, estate sales, and specialized numismatic auctions are all excellent avenues for assessing current market trends. For those looking to acquire a 1931 penny, consider the following tips: assess condition carefully. Even among circulated coins, subtle differences in wear can significantly impact value. Look for coins where key details like Britannia's shield, the trident, or the king's facial features are still discernible. Check for authenticity. Vintage pennies are often counterfeited or misrepresented in online listings. Verify your coin with reputable dealers or professional grading services when possible. Consider patina and eye appeal. Coins that have developed a natural, attractive patina over decades often appeal more to collectors than heavily cleaned or artificially polished examples. Buy from trusted sources. Numismatic auctions, certified coin dealers, and recognized marketplaces reduce the risk of purchasing counterfeit or misidentified coins. Think long-term. Even circulated pennies like the 1931 penny can appreciate in value over time, especially as surviving specimens become scarcer. The 1930 United Kingdom 1 penny in circulated fine condition may not have the gleaming shine of an uncirculated coin, but it carries immense historical and numismatic value. Its rich symbolism, connection to King George V's reign, and enduring appeal among collectors make it a fascinating piece to study and own. Whether you're a seasoned numismatist or just beginning your collection, this humble penny represents a tangible connection to Britain's past and a reminder that even small coins can tell big stories. Next up, the United Kingdom's most historically significant coins, the 1913 1 penny. Even in very bad circulated condition, this coin holds a special place in the hearts of collectors due to its age, history, and rarity. In this video, we will explore the coin's background, unique features, the demand among collectors for heavily worn examples, its current market value in dollars, and some practical tips for anyone looking to add this coin to their collection. The United Kingdom 1 penny of 1913 was minted during the reign of King George V, a monarch whose coins are highly sought after by collectors. The early 20th century was a transformative period for British coinage, with coins reflecting both industrial advancements in minting and the social and economic changes of the era. The 1913 penny was produced at the London Mint and is made primarily of bronze, a standard composition that replaced the older copper pennies. Its design is iconic, featuring King George V on the obverse and the traditional seated Britannia on the reverse. This particular coin represents a snapshot of British history over a century ago, making it more than just a piece of currency. It's a tangible link to the past. One of the most distinguishing aspects of the 1913 penny is its intricate reverse design. Britannia is depicted seated, holding a trident in one hand and a shield in the other, symbolizing both strength and protection of the realm. Despite the coin being in very bad circulated condition, enthusiasts can often still make out faint details of the design, which adds to its charm and historical value. The obverse features King George V in profile, and even when the coin is worn, traces of the king's visage can usually be discerned. Collectors often value coins like this for their age, historical context, and the story that wear and tear convey about the coin's journey through time. While pristine examples of the 1913 penny are rarer and fetch higher prices, even coins in very bad circulated condition are not easy to find. Over a century of circulation has meant that many coins were lost, melted down, or discarded, leaving fewer examples for collectors today. The rarity of such worn coins creates an interesting dynamic. Collectors who cannot afford higher-grade pennies often turn to these heavily circulated pieces to complete their collections. There is also a niche demand for coins that show extensive wear, as they reflect authentic usage and history, making them appealing to enthusiasts who appreciate the narrative of circulation over perfection. So, what is the current market value of a 1913 UK 1 penny in very bad circulated condition? Prices can vary depending on the coin's exact state, but generally, these coins are valued between $433,000 in online auctions or numismatic marketplaces. Coins that exhibit even slight legibility of design elements may reach the higher end of this range. While this might seem modest compared to mint condition examples, it represents a significant opportunity for new collectors to acquire a piece of British numismatic history without a large financial investment. Over time, as coins from this era continue to become scarcer, even heavily worn pennies may appreciate in value. For collectors interested in acquiring a 1913 penny in very bad circulated condition, there are a few key tips to keep in mind. First, always verify the authenticity of the coin, especially when purchasing online or at auctions. Look for sellers with good reputations and clear images of the coin's obverse and reverse. Second, examine the coin's wear patterns carefully. Coins with legible dates and discernible design features are generally more desirable. Third, consider the coin's provenance. Coins with a documented history or previous ownership by reputable collectors can carry added value. Finally, be patient. Collecting is a long-term pursuit, and finding the right coin at the right price often requires research and careful comparison. In conclusion, the United Kingdom 1913 1 penny, even in very bad circulated condition, is a remarkable collectible. It serves as a tangible connection to the early 20th century, offering historical insight, aesthetic appeal, and potential value for collectors of all levels. Whether you are a beginner looking to start your first coin collection or an experienced numismatist seeking to fill gaps in your set, the 1913 penny is a piece worth considering. Its rarity, combined with the charm of its worn condition, makes it a fascinating item to own and cherish. Next up, the United Kingdom 1 penny from 1938 in rusty, circulated condition. Even though it shows signs of wear and oxidation, this humble penny tells a story of pre-war Britain and remains sought after by collectors worldwide. In this video, we'll cover the coin's history, unique features, rarity, market value in dollars, and tips for collectors looking to add it to their collection. The 1938 UK penny was minted during the reign of King George VI, who ascended to the throne in 1936 following the abdication of his brother, Edward VIII. The coin was part of the pre-decimal currency system in the United Kingdom, and pennies like this were a common part of everyday life, used for buying groceries, paying for transportation, and other daily transactions. However, despite their everyday use, pennies from certain years, including 1938, are now considered collectible due to historical significance, age, and surviving numbers in various conditions. The obverse of the coin features the effigy of King George VI, designed by renowned sculptor Thomas Humphrey Paget. The reverse carries the classic image of Britannia seated with a shield and trident, a design that symbolizes British strength and maritime heritage. Over the decades, exposure to circulation has often left these coins with scratches, wear, and even rust, especially when they were stored in less than ideal conditions. The 1938 penny is instantly recognizable for its intricate design, despite its small size. One of its unique features is the detailed rendering of Britannia, which was used on pennies for much of the early 20th century. Even in a rusty, circulated condition, careful collectors can still appreciate the artistry of the engravings, such as the flowing robes of Britannia, the trident she holds, and the textured shield. Another notable feature is the edge of the coin, which is plain but shows the effects of time and circulation. Rust and discoloration often appear on these coins, giving each piece a unique patina. For some collectors, this character adds a sense of authenticity and historical charm that polished, pristine coins sometimes lack. While the 1938 penny is not the rarest British coin, finding one in any condition over 80 years old still holds appeal for collectors. Rusty or heavily circulated examples are more common than uncirculated ones, but even in this condition, they attract interest because of the coin's age and historical context. Some collectors specialize in filling their collections with coins showing genuine signs of circulation, as these coins tell stories about everyday life in the United Kingdom during the late 1930s. Interestingly, coins in rusty or damaged condition can also highlight minting errors or unusual variations, which can increase their value. Subtle differences in design, misaligned strikes, or rare die markings often become more noticeable in circulated coins, offering a hidden layer of numismatic intrigue. So, what can you expect if you're looking to buy or sell a 1938 UK penny in rusty, circulated condition? Currently, these coins typically sell for around $322,000 in average circulated condition. The value can fluctuate depending on the severity of the rust, overall wear, and the presence of any notable features or errors. Coins that are heavily worn but still retain visible details of Britannia and King George VI may fetch slightly higher prices, especially among collectors who value historical authenticity over pristine appearance. It's important to note that auction prices can sometimes exceed general market estimates, particularly if the coin is part of a larger lot or collection, or if it attracts a bidding war among passionate collectors. If you're considering adding a 1938 UK penny to your collection, here are a few tips. Assess the condition carefully. Even rusty coins can be valuable if they show clear design details. Examine the coin closely before purchasing. Check for unique features. Look for minting variations, such as misaligned strikes or unusual markings. These can increase the coin's collectible value. Handle with care. Rusty pennies can be fragile. Avoid cleaning them aggressively, as this can reduce their value. Instead, store them in protective holders or coin flips to prevent further damage. Compare market prices. Before buying, research online auction sites, coin shops, and numismatic marketplaces to ensure you're paying a fair price in dollars. Document provenance if possible. Keep a record of where and how the coin was acquired. Coins with traceable history are often more appealing to serious collectors. The United Kingdom 1 penny from 1938 may appear modest, especially in rusty circulated condition, but it carries a rich historical legacy and unique charm that appeals to coin collectors worldwide. Whether you're a beginner looking to start a British coin collection or a seasoned numismatist seeking to add historical depth, this penny represents a tangible connection to Britain's past. Its market value may be modest, but its collectible significance is undeniable, making it a small coin with a big story. So, if you're hunting for coins with character, history, and an authentic sense of the past, the 1938 UK penny deserves a place in your collection. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more in-depth videos on rare and valuable coins from around the world.